Yes, we are proud and free, and we stand as one. Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, or gentlemen, two of you. That's good. Great to be here. Glad you guys are here. Hope you're having a great week. Tomorrow is Juneteenth. Nice 3-day weekend for me. Don't have to work this weekend, which is good. Nice to take some time off, even though I had a vacation a couple weeks ago, which was right after Memorial Day. So another beautiful day here in Colorado. We were in the 80s today. Yesterday we were in the low 90s. It was hot. Oh, hot and sunny. Now it's cool and sunny. So we got a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff has happened just in the last few days, the last 24 hours especially. Let's get this show on the road where it's always hot and humid in Muskogee. It's Lloyd Mendenhall. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, Art. How you doing? Hello to whoever's in the chat. I haven't even looked. I haven't brought it up yet. But
Mhm. Yeah, we
yeah,
got
who we got there?
Brian and Charles and
Okay.
Cool
Yeah,
Cat
cool,
Michael.
cool cat.
Good to see you.
Yeah, well, it was a little warm here when I headed out. But I noticed storm clouds looked like they were rolling in. It's kind of dark coming out of the north. And I got home and I stopped and ate, got things I needed, some canned dog food for Ranger so he has something to nibble on because he's not really eating his regular dog food. But anyways, that's another story. But when I realized I'd left something out in the van, my cigarettes, so I ran back out there and whoa, what a cool down! It went from 85 to 75 in about an hour.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it really cooled down. I went out there and the winds out of the north. It's like, oh crap, that was a cool down. I wasn't expecting. So yeah, uh, but I mean, it wasn't humid today. It wasn't
Good,
excessively
good.
humid. Yesterday it was okay. I mean, it was, we've been staying in the mid 80s, but like I said, we have a cool down that just is a front that just has started through. So, yeah, I just checked my temperature and I checked it earlier and it was 85. Well, it was 85 when I pulled in here this
Mhm.
afternoon. So,
Cool.
it's within an hour and a half, it's gone from 85 to 75 and it looks like it's going to drop lower. So,
Mm.
uh, but,
Yeah,
hey, it's
good super
summertime in
weather.
Oklahoma.
Yep. All right, let's welcome all the way from the great white north up there in the blue state of New York. Let's welcome the echo. No, let's welcome Charles.
Yeah. Hey, Lloyd. Hey, everybody in the chat.
Welcome, welcome,
Hey,
and
Charles, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
yeah,
How are you?
Can't complain.
yep, yep. So how's the weather down up there over there?
Started off kind of scary today. um, we had we had a tornado watch, winds that could gust up to 50 miles an hour.
Wow.
Mom had a doctor's appointment that we really needed to get to,
Hmm.
so we set out, and by the time we were like 5 miles from home, the rain almost completely stopped, and the winds died down. And then by the time we got out of the appointment, that was all gone.
Good, good, good.
Welcome to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Right now it's a lovely like low 70s out there, blue skies, beautiful puffy clouds all over the place. On After that, we were so glad that all that ordeal was over with, that when we got to the point where there's like a four-way intersection on our way home, and instead of turning right to go home, we just kept on going north and went to our favorite ice cream place. On the way back,
Ooh.
I snapped some pics, and I'll probably have them up on my Facebook sometime over the weekend.
Oh, cool, cool. That's what I had after dinner was some chocolate chip mint ice cream. Hmm. That was
God,
good.
I haven't had that in years. I'm gonna have to stop and get. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to. gonna have to go down here to our local Brahms, which is our, you know, Texas, Oklahoma, and I think Missouri have Brahms. Sort of our local chain.
Right.
And I'm gonna have to go through the drive-thru. The person in front of me got a damned waffle cone, and I just like, and I ain't eating chicken strips. Boy, that lot. But I don't. Yeah, I probably taste. So I'll have to get a cup. Yeah, as much as I would want a cone, I'll probably have to get a cup of ice cream. But I very well may go get me some chocolate chip ice cream tomorrow at
There
midnight.
you go. You can't go
God,
wrong with that. And if
haven't
you're
had that
here
yet.
in the Denver metro area, especially here in the Arvada area, Enstrom's has ice cream.
Oh yeah,
And,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
their ice cream is,
I had some when I was in Grand Junction last year.
oh God, it's so good. And my favorite is the double chocolate.
I don't know what I had. I don't remember now.
Yeah,
Hell, I don't remember what I had
they've
yet.
got
I don't
all
even know what I.
kinds of flavors. About at least close to a dozen flavors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, what should we start with the UFC?
You
Yeah,
start
let's
with
start.
whatever you would like. Yeah.
All right, let's start off with that. We had big news happening over the USC UFC Freedom 250 event that was at the White House on Sunday. And then just a couple days ago, I heard about a plot that was foiled where a group of men were going to attack that event using drones and have snipers ready, because what they were going to do is use the drones to kind of move people to the killing zone, where they were going to have snipers picking off politicians and billionaires and whatnot. I thought, wow. And the way it was tipped off, it was one of the mothers of the suspect.
Yeah. See, that's a good point right there. If you are going to be a terrorist,
Yeah,
you
don't
should
tell him.
not stay at. You shouldn't live at home with your mommy's basement.
Right.
It's just not recommended. Now, mind you, those are the kind of idiots which go and again to that point. That shows you the kind of idiots that plan this. But
Mhm.
yeah,
And the suspects are, let's see, 19-year-old Ohio man. His name is Tyson Proper. Wow,
he's
what
the
a
one
name
who
for
lives. Yeah, he's the one who lives in mommy's basement.
right.
And
Yep.
that poor guy. I mean, you can understand why he hates himself or hates society. I mean, look at him. He's 19 years old. He's already got a receding hairline.
Right.
He's a round old butterball. Yeah, he has everything going against him. I mean, he's already going to be bald headed. You can tell. Probably by the time he's 22, he'll be a slick top. No offense to my hairless friends, but still,
Hmm.
uh, or my hair challenged friends, I should say. Uh, but yeah. Go ahead. Go. Read off
Yeah,
another
I
one.
was gonna bring up the mugshot of the said kid. I mean,
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
that, Tyson. Yeah.
I mean, how did they think they were going to get snipers anywheres near the?
Right.
Well, their plan was to get them outside of outside the area, and from what I've heard since more has come up is that they were going to use explosives and hit the White House and stuff like that with drones, cause the panic, and then they were going to have people inside that were going to be basically herding everybody to the exit to where the snipers would be waiting at some high points. And they already they show maps there that they already had uh sites picked out, and uh uh, from where
Right, but
they could.
I don't understand how they could have gotten a weapon. How a civilian could get a weapon anywhere near that. They would have had to have been shooting from miles away.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a good
depending on the
point.
rifle, they could have been shooting. But they could. I think the best they could probably hope for would be 500 yards. If they
Yeah.
were good.
Yeah,
If
Mhm.
they were good. But that little gun that he had there, that wasn't going to cut. That wasn't going to cut the mustard. That doesn't have that kind of trajectory.
Mhm. What that AR assault rifle they had there? Those red, white.
Yeah. It depends on
I
what.
I shot prairie dogs out to over 300 yards with that.
Well, yeah, it depends on the caliber that he's using. I mean, AR style. Hell, for all we know, that was a 22. I mean, I don't think it was. It was probably at best. It was either 223 or 243.
Yeah,
You know,
probably 223.
and they have a yeah they have a they don't have a very long trajectory with
No.
accuracy, and
Mhm.
with that type of rifle, it doesn't have the kind of accuracy that you would have, say, with a sniper rifle or with a uh, that's why snipers use the bolt action
Right.
and the
Mhm.
longer stocks and the better because they have they have a better trajectory because they don't have that lightweightness that allows they lose sight every time they fire.
Mhm.
Those things jump quite a bit. Uh,
I I think wasn't the rifle used in the Charlie Kirk assassination? Wasn't that an AR style
well, yeah,
rifle?
but look, hell, he only had to throw a rock at him. He could have hit the president with the damn rock from where he was
Yeah.
sitting. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, I'm talking about range, and in order to do this, they would had to have more range. Like Charles said, they would have to been further back than what they could have got with that thing. You know,
Right.
but
And I think one of the suspects
yeah,
was a Mexican national.
the ringleader, 30
Yeah.
some odd year old that was here illegally and then was allowed to remain because of the DACA. Now,
Right.
as USA Drone Flyer says, uh, after it was reported that 23 others
Right.
were there was 23 people involved, and from what I heard this afternoon, I think they've got like 21 of them or 20 of them.
Right.
They've got a large portion of 'em. They said most of the couple hours later, I had 3 Secret Service agents knock on my door. I thought they were looking for me because of the drone Johnny sold me. Well, and they don't say what kind of drones they were, but yeah,
Yeah.
they were probably the kind of drones that we like to fly.
Yeah. Hmm.
And it's sad that that it gives drones a bad name. Uh,
Right.
anytime
I
somebody
was
long
thinking the Swell Pro, the fishing drone. I mean, that
right.
could hold quite a bit of uh, whatever
Well,
they.
and I don't know that they were planning on necessarily killing anybody with these drones. The
Uh,
idea was they were going to attack buildings in the area
right.
and or the structure
Right.
and or they were going to hit the White House, which would have everybody panic and run. Well, you're going to get people killed just from the panic.
Right. Right.
And I mean, this was more of along the lines of the Las Vegas shooter style
Yeah, that's
setup,
right.
you know.
Hmm.
And there again, that was a guy from the left shooting the people on the right, you know.
Hmm.
And the this is the problem with the left. They keep giving this message, Donald Trump's got to die, and
Yeah.
anybody could. And part of the things were one of the politicians are going after is anybody who took anything from the Israeli, there was an
Oh
Israeli
yeah, the APAC.
APAC,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, so the billionaires APAC, and God bless his mother, that 19-year-old that she sent, she called him and says, I've got, she had screen grabs of the conver I mean, they had some detail on what they'd planned, and
Right.
Again, I don't, I don't know if I said it yet, or if, I may have said it before the show. I don't think these idiots had the wherewithal to plan this.
Right.
I think there's still somebody in the somebody that they're going to find.
They're going to find that person. They're going to find the money trail as well, because I think somebody is funding this stuff.
Well, in the case of the 19-year-old, he got money for his graduation. He just graduated high school, and he got
Right.
money for his graduation, and he either graduated high school or just graduated. I don't know.
I think
10
he's
school.
19. So,
Well, I mean, some kids don't graduate until they're 19.
yeah. Hmm.
There's a lot of kids. I mean, when I graduated, there were several kids that didn't graduate until they were 19, and
That's
and
me.
I, yeah. So there you go. Yeah, a lot of kids.
Mhm.
So but uh, oh, Joe said they were looking for his neighbor across the hall. Okay,
Ah,
so but yeah, I mean, these he used his graduation money to buy his guns and ammo. You know,
right. Yeah, he got that AR that you saw there and some
right, and he'd been buying a lot
tactical
of ammo.
gear. Yeah. Yeah. Like,
So
wow. Mhm.
So I mean, this was and when you look at some of the chatter that was on the app, or the chat that was in the app, they had maps, they had aerial views of the area where to place their guns. They were talking
Right.
about it,
Hmm.
and so they had it figured out, and all they had to do was do just like they did. All they had to do was just get into the area before all the security was set up.
Right.
You know,
Hmm.
And there was an overflow of people that were watching this, not just counting the people in that crowd, but there was a whole overflow area that, they could have shot those people up too. And
Right. Hmm.
it's just and this is the problem with the rhetoric coming out of the left,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
I totally agree.
and
This has been going on for 10 years now.
10 years, and yeah, and it's getting a little old.
Hmm. Yeah.
Oops. But yeah,
It's getting crazy. I mean, you've had 3 assassination attempts, actually 4 altogether on. If you count the guy that got what was it, a bulldozer they was going to try and flip the limo over, or was it a forklift?
I think it was a forklift. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was early on, wasn't it?
No, I think that
I think that was in his first term.
was it in his first term? I couldn't
Yeah, I
remember.
think it was yeah, early in his first term.
But I mean, it's just this has gone beyond this has gone beyond acceptable, and it's
Right.
it's time.
Mhm.
I hate to say it, but maybe it's time for the right to start standing up and doing something about it. If
Right.
they're going to make the point at some point and start declaring war on us. Well, we're going to have to start defending our rights and freedoms too.
Right.
I hope not. I hope not in my lifetime, anyways.
Yeah, yeah. And to be fair, there was one attempt on Obama. I don't know if you remember. Someone sent him ricin, uh,
Ricin, yeah, yeah,
yeah, some rice. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
not rice, but rice.
So I said
Um,
ricin. Yeah.
but anyway, yeah. So, and that was by an actress, and she's in prison right now. Yeah,
Well, she'll have a career as an activist when she gets out. You know.
yeah, yeah. So, uh, yeah, it just boggles my mind. We had this.
Well, and I watched that whole thing.
Yeah, and
I watched it from
what
beginning to
what
end.
what scares me now is we got another event coming up called
The 4th of
Independence
July.
Day, 4th of
Yeah,
July,
yeah,
and we might there might be several attacks around the country. Who knows?
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that's what makes me nervous. Uh, at ball games, I mean, at fireworks events.
displays. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's. Are we going to become like uh, England was during the height of the IRA? Is that what's going to start happening here?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
You know, or like a lot of the places like Israel is. And
mhm,
these
yeah,
suicide bombers coming in. I mean, this
yeah.
is this is what we're looking
October
at.
7th. Yeah.
Well, not just October. Israel's been dealing with suicide bombers
Oh yeah,
for
forever. Yeah.
forever.
I mean, since day one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
And
and
it just kind of, and there another good point that I heard Gutfeld talk, and I think it was when they had J.D. Vance on. They were talking about patriotism and
yeah,
how
yeah,
low it is on the left and how high it is on the right. And it's like,
yeah.
wow, we got some people that really don't like this country.
Well, and as he said, if they don't like it, they need to get out.
Yeah. Hmm.
Now, I watched, and that's, I know we're talking about several things tonight, but one thing we didn't bring up was JD Vance and what he's done in the last few days. And, he's been
Right.
pretty busy, you know.
Busy, busy.
He was busy like, what was it, Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday.
Hmm.
Uh, he was pretty active that day. And I sat there and I watched all of the different interviews that he did.
Right.
Yeah. And, I kept looking at him and I kept thinking, this man could very well be our next president, and he's showing signs of being the kind of president I would vote for, the kind of man I would
Yes.
vote.
Hmm.
Not just you know, and I discussed it with my cousin. We were talking about one thing Donald Trump does is he gives his vice presidents something to do. He makes them.
Right.
And even Pence was out there. He made
Right.
sure Pence wasn't one of these guys that he sent over to uh
Funerals and
yeah, yeah,
coronations and
yeah,
bar.
send him over to Ghana to visit the tribal chief or something.
Right.
No, Pence was involved with stuff, and JD Vance is even more so involved.
Hmm.
And I think I think he's obviously being prepared, and I think that's what Trump was going to do with Pence, but Pence
Right.
kind of he kind of blew it, and but JD Vance is, I think, just showing how good he is at dealing with people, and from both sides.
Right.
Uh, if you get a
Mhm.
chance, watch some of the excerpts from The View because he does a really good job of dealing with those people.
Right.
And
Yeah.
because I watched that, and he did a really good job of talking, dealing with the viciousness. He even brought it up. You know, he said, I'm used to tough. He says, I've been into some tough negotiation situations. He says, after all, I was on The View. He says, that was pretty hostile right there. He
Yeah.
said that today in the press conference that he gave,
Mm.
so,
Right.
uh,
Hmm.
so I think, Pence is going to, if he's not our next president, he should be.
Once.
Uh, Vance. Okay. They
Yeah.
both with an NCE. Okay.
Yeah.
So Vance, I think, will be our next president. If he's
I
not, he
think
should have
so.
been.
It's either going to be Vance or Rubio. I think they're going to be
I
the
th- I
duo.
think I think Rubio will be the vice president
Yeah. I think you're right. Hmm.
because one, he's got he's Secretary of State and he's got that foreign policy understanding.
Right.
Uh,
Mhm.
Vance understands the inside workings of the presidential office.
Right.
Uh,
Mm.
but yeah, But yeah, I mean, we could have, Vance could have easily been president after Sunday if this shit had gone
Yeah.
down.
Well, yeah, I don't think he was there
He wasn't
Sunday.
there. No, he wasn't there.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, no, he
Well,
wasn't there.
speaking of,
But it would have wiped out. It would have wiped out most of Trump's family.
yeah, that's right. Well, I made a video with Nick Shirley's involved in this.
Oh
Take a
yeah.
look.
Another 50 grand just cleared from the leftist NGO coalition. We're rich!
Perfect. I'm publishing the hit pieces on the moderate Republicans now. They won't know what hit them. It's him, the citizen investigator, Nick Shirley.
Destroy the evidence! Wipe the servers! Delete everything!
I just wanted to ask if they had a spare pen.
Oh, that is so true.
Well, this
Hello,
group
Grant.
is called Rhino Watch Colorado, and the people that you saw there, the guy in the beard, that's Dave Williams. He's the former GOP chairman who's been, pretty much running amok, destroying the party. The man and the woman, they're married. That's Julie Hayden. She's a former TV anchor, and now she's on the radio with her husband, Chuck Bonniwell. I like to call him Chuck Q Bonniwell, to borrow that from Rush Limbaugh. And they're radio hosts, and they're big supporters of the grassroots Republicans, and always stirring up a bunch of shit within the party. And they've been suspected as the ringleaders of Rhino Watch Colorado. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
That was a good video. It was entertaining to say the least. Yeah.
how'd you like Dave Williams? He's trying to shred his laptop.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yeah,
And-
got the yawns again that time of night.
Mhm. And how do we know that group's not being funded by the left? I mean, the DOJ has blown the lid off of SPLC, when they were donating to the Ku Klux Klan and the
Right. Yeah.
Aryan Nations. They're the ones that orchestrated that march up in Charlottesville. And that got me thinking, well, shit, how do we know that that's not happening with Rhino Watch Colorado? Because the Democrats are just sitting back to look at this. Yeah, watch them eat their own, Hey, why not?
Oh yeah, and that's it.
Keep it going, And
The whole Manchurian candidate thing,
Yeah, I posted that on Facebook, and some of my Republican friends got really irate about, when did you prove it? And it's like, wait a minute, it's not up to me to prove it. It's up to you to prove my assertions, saying to refute what I just said. And I just said nothing. Because I'm not going to argue with these idiots, because that's not going to change their mind,
Yeah. It goes back to that story about the tiger and the donkey,
Mm-hmm.
And the tiger keeps saying the sky is blue, and the donkey says, no, it's not. It's green. I know it's green. And they go to the lion, And he said, and the tiger says to the lion, who's the king of the jungle, he says, this guy's obviously deluded. He keeps telling everybody the sky is green. He says, obviously, everybody knows it's blue. And lion turns and says, well, let the donkey talk. And the donkey says, sire, I know in my heart, the tiger's wrong. It is green. It is green.
Mm.
And of course the lion says, well, I agree with you. The sky is green. And the donkey smiles and walks off. And tiger says, how could you let him say that the sky, how could you agree with him on that? He says, and he says, not only did I agree with him on that, he says, but for the next 10 years, you're going to be mute. Why am I being punished? He says, because anybody knows that's got half a brain that you can't argue with the jackass.
And we got Grant in the chat.
Yeah, I said hi to him a
Hello,
minute ago.
Grant.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Howdy, mate. So, yeah, I mean, and that's what it comes down to. We spend too much time arguing with jackasses.
Mhm. Yep.
They're still going to believe the sky is green no matter what you say. You can have all the scientific proof laid out for you,
Mhm.
and they're still going to call it. They're still going to say, you know, obviously science is wrong.
Well, I've been listening to a lot of videos at work on YouTube, and one of them was about Socrates. And it's like, wow, that really opened my eyes to what's going on today about how fools are following demigods and entertainers and not being, not having an open mind and just following
Well,
whatever you feel good.
yeah, they've what I heard today. How was it put today? Rather than put in the effort of doing the work themselves, the Democrats,
Hmm.
they're just going to let these movie stars and these activists put up these people that have. I mean, they're absolutely worthless, like these Democratic socialists that keeps getting
Yeah,
voted in because they don't want to actually have to put in the work. They're being lazy because they're too lazy to put in the work to come up with a good concept or a good program.
yeah.
If the Democrats were to actually put in
Good policy out.
put in good policy, if
Yeah,
they would work, if your standard Democrats, your old school Democrats, the ones that have, you know, the less liberal, the more centrist Democrats, if they'd put in which I think a lot of Democrats, but the ones keep getting the news are the ones that's making the loudest noise. They're the ones,
right. Hmm.
and I say, oh look, they're getting all this free press. We're just going to go with them. You know,
Yeah.
and
Well,
it also goes to the depth of how lazy our news reporters are.
yeah, I
They
was
do not want to investigate to see if any of this bullshit is true, or
right.
have to put in the time and effort to write the story. So somebody at the AP or the Sunday Times out of England on
Yeah,
Sunday, they put out this spiel, and for the rest of the week, everybody just quotes it because that's why when you switch from channel to channel or from from one news source to another, you're hearing the same thing over and
same
over and over.
thing. Yeah,
And
right.
and unfortunately, the conservative movement's starting to get that way.
Yeah.
And that's why
Mm.
we got a schism started because, you know, some people, oh, they've investigated, but they've investigated down a rabbit hole that's full of silliness and foolishness. And
Mhm.
rather than use their brain and common sense, because they get more sensationalized value out of it. It's all about headlines and sensation rather than actually coming up with something that's useful.
Right.
Well, if you know this to be true, why haven't you come up with a plan to counter it?
Right. Mm-hmm.
and I'm referring to a guy I used to have respect for, but I was before he left or before he was ceremoniously released from Fox News. I
Oh,
had some
Tucker?
respect for. Yeah, at one time I liked Tucker, but then I noticed he was
Me
just
too.
getting further and further out there,
Yeah.
and when
He's
they
in it
started
for the lights and the clicks.
yeah, and when they started attacking Israel,
Yep.
uh, those people are our allies,
Mhm.
which is part of the reason going into another segueing into the
Yeah,
Iran
our
deal.
final uh, item of the evening, yeah,
Yeah,
which is the MOU, which
yeah.
is Memorandum of Understanding that Donald Trump and our counterpart in Iran is supposed to be signing on Friday, I
They already
believe.
signed it today.
Oh, okay.
The official signing happened. It happened last night, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's Vance was supposed to go there on, and I knew that, and I knew that it wasn't going to happen. But Vance was supposed to go to Switzerland and sign it tomorrow,
Ah, okay.
and they'd already electronically signed it, but there was
Oh,
supposed to be this ceremonial signing. And the thing that you saw Trump signing was actually that was Trump signing the
yeah.
memorandum of understanding
And where was that at?
that was in Versailles.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I think, is going to be
Ironically,
known as the Versailles Iran Treaty
right.
because it's going to be just as bad as the Versailles Treaty was, and we're going to be back at it again.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
my opinion. But
Yep.
what do I know? But
Hmm.
yeah, and I knew that Vance wasn't going to go over there to sign it. I knew Trump was already over there, and as I've said before, I think his ego is what got us in has got us where we're at today. It's not what got us into this war. We went over there with good intentions, but
Mm-hmm.
he's let his art of the deal crap got in the way, and of course he wasn't going to let Vance sign this. You know, when I
Mm-hmm.
heard last night, when I saw last night that he signed it, it was last night, late last night, our time,
Mm-hmm.
or earlier this morning, whatever it was. But when I heard that, I thought, yeah, I knew he wasn't going to let Vance do it. There's no way his ego wouldn't allow him. You know
Uh, that you know this for a fact.
that his ego wouldn't allow him. Yeah, I mean it's pretty obvious. No, I know that
Yeah.
he. Yeah, it's pretty
All right.
damned
So
obvious.
what is in this?
Well, I heard Vance's report today.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the of course we are in another 60-day ceasefire.
Right.
Uh, the Strait of Hormuz has been opened.
Right.
There will be no tariffs, even though Iran says they're
Not
going to have some sort of
tariffs, tolls.
tolls. Yeah, there will be no tolls. We have lifted the blockade
Mm-hmm.
to Iran so they can start exporting stuff.
They get export, but that money stays in a kind of a jar. They don't
It's
get
Yeah,
any
it
of that
stays in a
money.
trust. They don't get any, and that money, not a dime of it comes from the United States. The
That's
money
right.
is they have certain criteria they have to meet, and if
Right.
at that point they don't meet the criteria or they keep dragging it out, Trump says we'll just go back to bombing. But
Yeah.
the way it's set up is the sanctions will be lifted once they start meeting certain criteria.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the sanctions are still in place and will remain in place.
Right.
But the hope is that at some point they will go ahead and do what they're supposed to do, and if they can continue, uh, countries like the UAE and some of these others will invest, up to $3 billion in building, say, electro plants or stuff like that in Iran. They'll
Right.
open up businesses, and anybody would once the sanctions are lifted, anybody would be free uh, to invest.
Right.
Plus, they are allowed to, they are being allowed to sell their oil,
Uh-huh.
and there's something about that because, yeah, there's a fund that is set up of their money that has been because I
And
think
frozen.
one of the that was frozen. And
Yeah.
if they meet certain criteria, certain parts of that will be released. It's
Right.
being held by the UAE or the Middle East Alliance.
Right. And
And
one of the provisos is no nukes, no enriching, no pursuing, no missiles.
uh
Uh,
uh 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 uh,
okay.
you're wrong.
Okay. All right.
They will be allowed to have certain ballistic missiles in order to protect themselves because
Okay.
the other countries have them, so they will too.
Okay.
That's where I start having a problem with this.
All right. So now are we going in there to get the whatever uranium powder is
That
in there?
that is the plan.
Okay. Now
It's
here is my I have this would be the simplest way. This is in my opinion. Do you remember a Operation Plowshares?
yeah.
This
So,
is a project using nuclear devices for peace. Like building channels or unlocking natural gas and oil. And they set off 3 devices here in Colorado. And one of them
yeah.
was at Roan Plateau. And now they're just allowing hunters to go in to hunt deer and antelope in that area because it was closed off for many, many years.
Yeah.
So here's my idea. All right. Instead of just digging down there and trying to find this cavern that has the smash centrifuges, why not drill a hole down there that's maybe 20 or 30 inches in diameter? Drop a Hiroshima type bomb down there and it'll seal off that area. It'll just fuse everything, and any uranium that's there will vaporize. And
Well, yeah. I think that's that's
if
fraught
it's
with
not
all sorts of possibilities. Somebody does something wrong, a Hiroshima-sized bomb. It doesn't matter. The idea is they don't want them to have any access to any of
well,
that. So they're going
that's
to,
what's good
but
about
they
this.
also want to use that. They want to
Oh,
retrieve
for
it,
their reactors for peaceful purpose. Yeah.
not for their reactors. No, it's going to be
Ah,
taken out of the country and brought to the United States,
oh, okay,
and
okay,
we will dispose of it once we have control of it.
okay.
We
All
don't
right,
want any idea. We don't want anything nuclear near or around that. We want to go down and get what is there and bring it out. We don't want to drop another one down in there and just seal it off,
right.
or just, yeah, that might be a good idea on paper, but who knows? They might do that. But my understanding is because we apparently have the technology to locate it,
Right.
and it's just a matter of going down and getting it, and it will be. But they can have no nuclear aspiration. They can have no enrichment,
Mhm,
nothing. They can't buy nukes. They can't own nukes. They can't enrich of
mhm,
any sort. No enrichment. They can't even get it to the yellow cake stage.
right.
So, which I think is what they're going to try to do with what's down there. They're going to turn that back into yellow cake to unenrich it basically, and then transport it where it's a little
Right.
more stable.
All right. And while this is all going on, from what I've been seeing lately, there's already been some uh, insurgents that are trying to overthrow the government there.
Now, I hadn't heard that one. I hadn't seen that
Yeah.
anywhere today. So, but
So you have to look for it, and I was just like kind of surprised. I saw that, so that's probably one of the reasons. Well, there's a couple of reasons. The country's broke. They're bankrupt.
yeah,
They need money just to survive, because if they
right.
don't,
Yeah,
so that's why they're there, and they're also worried about, hey, possibility that their government could be overthrown, and that's why they're at the table. So we've got them in the corner, and that's why it's set up the way it is, to where if they screw up or f up, we go back in and we bomb the shit out of them, and that government will be overthrown. Whether it's overthrown now or down the road, I don't think
yeah,
this government is going to last very long.
yeah. I saw something today, and apparently some of the members of the Israeli cabinet are cursing Donald Trump personally. They're just, you know,
Right.
they're really pissed off about this. Now they've been in touch with Netanyahu, but it was actually JD Vance's, Vice President Vance, that said it today. He says, "Listen, the weapons that you're using over in Israel right now
Mm-hmm.
are American-made weapons, made by American hands, financed by American citizens, and you want to piss off the one man that can say whether you're going to get those or not."
Mm-hmm.
The most powerful man in the most powerful nation in the world, and you
Mm-hmm.
want to piss him off, you need to step back and maybe rethink your attitude.
Right.
And
Yep.
he kind of laid it, and he says, but as far as him and Netanyahu, he says he spoke to Netanyahu yesterday. He says there's not a, they they d- they don't personally have a problem. Netanyahu's now some of his cabinet are some of them are pretty hardliners. Netanyahu's always
Right.
been he's been a moderate, but he also he's not been a hardliner, but he also won't put up with shit either,
Right.
you
Mm-hmm.
know. And he's sort of like a Donald Trump, He's got
Right.
his detractors too, but
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's right. So
hey,
get your
I don't think
Google.
he's there anymore.
do
Yeah,
what?
I haven't seen him say anything for a while. So,
Oh,
you love it or hate it. The way I look at it is I'm frustrated too,
oh
but
yeah, yeah,
I'm not the expert. I don't know everything that's going on there, and I'm like going, I'll let Donald do what Donald wants to do, and if he screws up, well, that is on him.
yeah. I
And
just hope it doesn't come back to bite us in the
yeah,
ass,
but here's the thing: he's got the economy, or at least oil is now stable, and the price of gas is starting to coming down pretty good. And
$3.23 a gallon here in Muskogee today.
yeah, last I saw it was 365 and still dropping. Oh, no,
Yeah,
351 when I came back home from work. And I think it's going to keep going down, because you got to remember now Iranian oil is out there, and that's pushing the supply up and driving the price
yeah.
down.
We may be, we might end up in a one of those negative situations again, like we had during the first part of COVID. When everybody
Right.
quit going anywhere. They
Hmm.
couldn't give oil away. And the
Right.
fact that the UAE is no longer part of OPEC,
Right.
they're going to sell oil for what they feel like they can get
Right.
by with, and keep the oil flowing. They don't want to. I don't think they want us to ever be in this situation again. That's one reason they've also built uh the land pipelines.
Pipeline. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
And you got to remember 20% of the world's oil goes through the Strait of Hormuz. And yeah, so,
this will help out China.
well,
Maybe.
yes and no, because now they got to pay regular price instead of getting it heavily discounted from Iran.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
The only place they're getting heavily discounted gas is Russia.
Joe just said his is at $3.19 a gallon. It's down 68 cents
Oh, wow, that's
in the
good.
last week. Yeah,
That's-
ours has probably dropped close to that here.
Well,
you know.
you guys are in red states. I'm in a blue state that has a lot of taxes. They're trying to get us almost full electric by 2050.
There's something disconcerting about sitting next to. The other day I was sitting next to a Tesla, and it's just like nice looking car, but it
Mhm.
was just freaky when it takes off and you don't hear nothing but a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then today there was a apparently it's electric, an Escalade.
Yep. Mhm.
Nice new Cadillac Escalade. I'm sitting there thinking, I should be hearing that. I expected to hear that big caddy engine in there and
Yeah.
roll my
Mhm.
window down like, son of a bitch, that big beautiful thing is electric? Are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
Are you
Yeah.
sure it was electric and not a hybrid?
Could have been a hybrid. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know one thing. It wasn't making no noise when it took off.
yeah, that's right. I see a
So-
lot of Teslas around here, and I've been seeing Priuses around lately.
Kind of
so.
funny that you guys are, you're seeing Teslas in a blue state that everybody there hates
I
Elon
know.
Musk.
Oh, and occasionally I'll see a
Well,
Cybertruck.
They
Yeah.
bought them all. They bought them all before Musk.
When it was cool. When it was cool to own
Yeah.
Tesla. Yeah. And then when Elon got on Trump's the Doge committee, that's when
Yeah.
oh, and now he's a trillionaire. And now they really hate him.
Oh yeah. 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 They think he should go out and share all of his money because
Right.
man shouldn't be a trillionaire.
Yeah. Although he
Well,
made over 4,000 of his workers millionaires now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Made 4,400 millionaires, and the rest are doing really good. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, and he's merging. Of course, he just did the IPO of SpaceX, and now he's merging Tesla into that, and
Oh.
I think Starlink as well.
so is it
Or-
going to be?
It's just going to.
Tesla?
I don't.
There's
It's just.
Tesla?
I don't. I don't know what they're going to call it but he's merging them into one. He's merging all of them into one business so they can. They'll have divisions. They'll have the space division. They'll have the car division.
Car
They'll have
division,
the. They'll have the.
which will be good because the company I work for makes a lot of components for what was it? SpaceX and Tesla.
Yeah. So, he's and I think he's putting X into that as well.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So, yeah, he's merging at least 3 companies together.
Great.
And I don't know. So, yeah, it's all going to be part of that. It's going to have one corporate head, and then it's going to have divisions. Like a lot of companies do. Some
one of them is Neuralink. It's one of them.
Neuralink. Maybe that's the third one I was thinking.
Yeah.
Not Starlink, but because Starlink, I think, is part of the
It's part of
SpaceX.
SpaceX, yeah.
Yeah, so Neuralink is the one he's adding to. So it's going to be Neuralink, Tesla, and SpaceX are going to be part of one major company with 3 different divisions. So, which means
Okay.
if you buy any of that stock, well, like when it first came on, well, at some point you'll own stock that involves both Neuralink and Tesla. So
Cool.
yeah, so he's no dummy, you know.
No, I mean,
And
what?
I think it's terrible for the left to be attacking him. I mean, he is African American after all, and
Yeah, that's right.
aren't they
He's
all
the
the
first
big
African
supporters?
American trillionaire.
Yeah, he's the first African American trillionaire. I think it's terrible that they attack him like that.
Yeah.
You know,
hmm I
I mean,
thought they were about
coming from
diversity.
Africa, if coming from Africa and then becoming an American makes you an African American, they don't
Well,
say which part of Africa.
well,
Yeah,
Josh Blue, he was born in Cameroon, so he's African American.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
For
Yeah.
those who don't know, he's a comedian with cerebral palsy. Very funny guy.
Yeah. I've seen him.
I
Yeah.
met him once, and I went to say hi to him, and he goes, "Oh, you're Art Carlson. I know who you are." I'm like, "Wow." And I hadn't been doing comedy for a while, so
Huh.
so
Wow.
evidently I'm still known in the community. Ah,
I don't understand that because you were never that good. I mean, how could they? And maybe they
uh,
remember you for being the little guy that was a terrible comedian. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway.
Speaking of terrible videos, I got another one for you. You
Oh.
remember there was a group that came up with the blueprint for Colorado, where four uber rich Democrats got together to figure out how to turn
Oh
Colorado.
yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
Okay, so well, there is a new wrinkle in it, and now they're branching out into you know donating money to groups to help their cause. So watch this video.
22 years ago, we built the blueprint. We proved that if you control the political machinery, you control the outcome. But the old playbooks are drying up. 2026 needs something sharper.
We didn't just win a few cycles, Tim. We permanently reshaped this state. But polarization has evolved. The infighting isn't just about party labels anymore. It's about absolute ideological purges.
The mechanism is beautifully adapted. We aren't just sending direct mailers anymore. We are deploying hyper-targeted digital ad networks and AI-driven narrative loops. We amplify their most extreme voices to guarantee they nominate candidates completely unviable in a general election.
It's a perfect firewall. While they exhaust their resources fighting internet wars and purging their own moderates, they drain their campaign vaults before we even launch a single general election ad.
The digital funding pipelines are secure and decentralized, completely shielded through independent advocacy layers and already flowing into critical swing districts. The campaign is fully operational.
Every dollar they waste defending their ideological purity on social media is a dollar they can't spend contesting us. While they fight for the ashes of their party, our candidates walk straight into office.
By the end of this cycle, we won't just hold Colorado. We will prove to the entire country that our model is the permanent laboratory for neutralizing the opposition.
Then let's launch the 2026 blueprint.
Yeah.
Other than sometimes the voices were a little out of sync, and
Yeah.
the fact that you had a couple of them with British accents, so
Well,
But-
the woman is Pat Stryker. If you don't know who she is the heiress of Stryker Medical. Her grandfather founded.
Oh yeah. I do know who
Well,
she is. Yeah.
she is an uber billionaire realtor in Fort Collins, Colorado. She basically, well, she owns Fort Collins because she owns the city council there. She pretty much runs all of that area. it's not only Fort Collins, but it's Longmont, Loveland, and Greeley.
Right.
Because with her, she's a billionaire. And well, you recognize Jared Polis. He
Yeah.
was one of the authors of that. The other two gentlemen are Rhett Bridges and Tim Gill. And they're uber rich people who got together and developed this strategy called the Blueprint. And this is the updated version where they funnel money from leftist or NGOs into these like Rhino Watch Colorado and the and those groups to kind of stir the pot and destroy the party from within.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's the same. I mean, we got more and more mayors that are starting to show up that are, and I discussed it earlier. They're allowing it to happen because they're too damn lazy to come up with a decent policy. So just let the guys with the loudest mouth, that seem to be getting all the press, let them run for office.
Right.
And if they succeed, well, that's all the better for them. If they fail, well, okay, we didn't want them to be in office anyway. So,
well, have you noticed a lot of them that are either running for mayor or governor are very rich people? I mean,
oh yeah,
rich. J.B. Pritzker.
oh yeah.
Well, he's governor of Illinois, and he's the heir to the Hyatt fortune. Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay,
he's
yeah,
like
like Hyatt,
from
yeah.
Illinois. He's from California. He went to school in Massachusetts.
Well, he had to move to Illinois because they got all that farmland where they can afford to raise food to feed his fat ass.
Right. And I've been
California doesn't
following.
grow anything anymore or have anything other. You can't gain that. Just look at Kamala and Pelosi.
Uh-huh.
If they had anything out there that they could eat, well, that they grew anything that they could eat, well, they might be a lot heavier than they are, but instead they're these skinny little things because all they got out there is wine and booze, and that's what both Nancy and Kamala live off of. Whereas,
Right.
Fisker, he
Right.
had to go out there to where they raise.
Where they make the Impossible Burgers.
Yeah. Where they
Mhm.
yeah.
I just subbed a new YouTube channel called Forgotten History, and now I'm listening to videos about corrupt politicians, and one of
Yep.
them's been
Yep.
Woodrow Wilson,
Yeah.
FDR, who else? Oh, Lyndon Baines Johnson. Oh God, talk about a guy who was a crook.
Well, hell,
And
everybody knew that.
then you talked about Biden. Oh God, Biden made Johnson look like a piker. The whole family. That's why it's called the Biden crime family. The
Yeah.
corruption. He's been a crook since he got out of high school.
Yeah.
He claimed he played on the Delaware football team. He was not on the football team.
Well, there's a difference. Now, you calling him a crook, that he's a liar.
Well, he's a lying crook.
All right. Well, there's a difference. You gotta make sure you get him because you called him a crook and they said, well, he never played on their football team. Well, that just means he's a liar, doesn't it? There's a lot of people that lie that aren't necessarily crooked. They're just liars.
Well,
Unfortunately for him, I think he's both.
At least Johnson killed off a few people where Biden just, gives him that look like the Sopranos and say, you want to walk to school, you better do what we say, That's what he said to, who was it? Oh, Jill's ex-husband when she forced him. They went after him because he wanted the House. And Biden, well, actually, his brother and some of their associates kind of threatened him, say, hey, you better give her the House if you know what's good for it, you know?
Yeah.
And then they talked
Well,
about how classified documents ended up in his house.
well, yeah. I mean, hell, we all knew about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. Then they got another series about Donald Trump, who's actually the least corrupt politician because he doesn't have he's already rich. Why does he need to steal from the public? He
But
doesn't.
then again, why did Biden? Because he's rich too.
Well, he's rich.
Although he can't come up with enough money to build a library.
Right.
Speaking of
And
libraries, I guess Obama's opened up. I guess he still owes
you mean
millions
that
upon.
Berlin Flak Tower they built?
Yeah. But apparently he owes millions upon millions of dollars on it. He's still, there's people that haven't been paid, or he ripped them off. Apparently that's what's going on with Biden too. He can't get anybody who will build him a library. And I don't know, why do presidents have to have library? Isn't everything they said in the Library of Congress? Why the hell they need their own damn library?
Well, I think that started back with Truman.
Oh, probably, yeah.
He had a library, Ike had a library, Nixon had a library, JFK had a library.
You get a librarian, you get a librarian, you get a library.
Yeah. Waste damn money is what it is, because if you want to know what they said, you can just log into the Library of Congress and you can get a transcript of what they said.
Yeah, there you go.
Everything else is irrelevant,
When I heard that Jimmy Carter was going to have a library, I almost fell out of my seat when I heard about that. What the hell does he have that's even worth seeing? Now, the Clinton Library Massage Parlor, well, that's a different story.
Well, yeah, I think, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do they say? That Clinton didn't really need a library because he left a part of himself somewhere on every seat in the White House.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, and so did Biden, too.
Well, that's true, but it was a different,
Yeah, but it was brown.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it all depends.
Whether they leaked or not?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's a sad state of affairs that was the man that, and that just goes to show you how lazy, and it also goes to my theory that I've had for years, is that when you have a candidate that is so overwhelmingly popular, they put up people that they think are just throwaways. The Democrats are famous for it.
Right.
Bill Clinton was a throwaway candidate. They didn't want anybody worthwhile going up against, the former vice president and now the president, H.W. Bush. Because we'll put Bill Clinton out there and, he'll lose and that'll be the end of it.
What about Ted Kennedy? Didn't he run? And I didn't, wait a minute. Gary Hart was during,
that was
Ronald
during
Reagan.
Ronald Reagan. Yeah, again. But if you notice the point was is when they put up guys that just really they really didn't stand a snowball's chance, and unfortunately they won. Which was now Obama. That was going to be a shoe-in. I don't care because we didn't have a candidate worth of shit. And
John McCain. God.
Yeah. And Mitt Romney either time.
Well, I mean, to be fair with McCain, the only thing that kept his campaign going was Sarah Palin. She saved his ass.
Yeah, and had he not,
they threw her under the bus after the election.
Well, they did
treated
that.
her
They
like shit.
had they not suspended their campaign,
Yeah, that's true.
that was, that's what hurt. That's what hurt him.
Yep.
But
Mhm.
with Barack Obama, he was going to
Well,
get elected.
yeah, he was just
He was
charismatic.
he was the first black American to run
He
on a
was the
major party
Black
ticket.
Kennedy, Black JFK, you know?
He was
Even
never
though,
JFK. He was a good orator, but he
yeah,
never had any of the, he was a racist,
yeah.
and
Oh, he
I
was
mean,
a crook too.
do what?
He was a crook too.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
the way he, when he ran for state office in Illinois, he, who was, oh no, when he ran for Senate, he dug up some sealed documents on Ryan, who was Jerry Ryan's husband, and it was a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff about
Right.
their background, and used the, and it's like, you son of a bitch, just. Here's another thing that really bothers me is, why did Bill Clinton seal his college records? And same with Obama. I mean, what was in it that was so damaging? I mean,
Well, I think you'd find out. Well, Clinton, you'd find out that he was an uneducated hick.
yeah,
Yeah,
who
he
liked to sexually assault women while he was
right.
on
Yeah, he
campus.
might have been a Rhodes Scholar, but it's only because
He probably
uh,
wrote a few scholars.
yeah, that's probably what it come down to. But with Obama, I think part of it would be that he probably put himself down as a foreign student to get extra
Right.
money. He's trying to
Mhm.
get better loan rates by
Yeah.
claiming stuff that
Probably some of his homosexual past might be in that too.
a lot of that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta admit that was funny when that. I mean, it was bad taste, but it was funny when that UFC fighter yelled out, "And Michelle Obama's a man." There was there wasn't a resounding cheer. There was a bit of dead silence for a second. And everybody like, "Oh well,"
Mhm.
you know. So yeah, it was funny to hear that. Yeah, nobody. Yeah, I mean, it didn't get a resounding cheer, but it did. Like, yeah, I
Yeah,
got
but
more groan.
gallery
It was it was
of
more like the way we
snickers.
reacted. Now it was more like how we react to some of your jokes. Like, oh
Uh,
god, it's more of a generalized groan. And I'd like to know what Trump said to him when he went over to shake his hand. But I
yeah.
can't remember. I think he said that after he'd met with because they usually jumped right out of the ring and went over and shook hands with the president and talked with him, and then he went back inside, and then Joe Rogan was doing his ringside interview, and even
Mhm.
Rogan was like, "Oh well, now moving right on." He was like, that was his like, okay, this interview's over. That quick. So. Yeah, and then speaking of interviews, I watched the press conference with Vice President Vance today. The guy's got a great sense of humor.
Yes.
And he says, all right, the person in the red dress. He said, all right, wait a minute, we got too many people wearing red dresses. The one in the back with the blonde hair and the maroon dress.
Ah.
And this guy starts talking. He says, you're not wearing a dress, are you? Or something to that effect. Yeah, he said, I'm not going to stand up here. All right. I said the guy in the blue coat, that is Navy. We're not going to discuss the difference between blue and Navy. If you don't know, he says, I'm not up here to debate that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, he's got a sense of humor about him.
Yep.
He takes himself a lot less seriously than our president does. If that shit tastes so nasty, why do you drink it? I mean, I could just see on your face. It's like, God.
Well, anyway, now Trump could pull out a few.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's got a sense of humor too,
Yep.
but the way JD Vance does it is I will say this. Let's just put it this way: Vance has more class than Trump does.
Right.
And Trump is sort of a New
New
York City
York. Yeah.
brawler. He's a construction worker. Okay,
Where
uh,
Vance is Midwest.
Midwest with yeah. He's
What, Hickory or
well,
Yeah,
he
Hickabee?
didn't.
originally grew up in the Appalachians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
He grew up as a hillbilly in the Appalachians.
Right.
His mother was a drug addict.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and Trump. What was last night? Gutfeld said that Vance was pushing his new book and it's about finding his. It has to do with his getting back to his faith.
Oh,
And he says even his wife is going to is thinking about converting from Hinduism to Catholicism now that after she realized that after his after Vance's day on the View, she realized that cows aren't sacred anymore.
yeah. There you go. You got
Yeah,
there. And
I got there. Yeah,
kind of a
it was
meandering.
up there, but getting it to
It
come
was,
out. So
it
yeah,
was like it's like yeah.
I have trouble. Sometimes I have trouble saying stuff still. I mean,
Yeah.
well, I'll be glad when I get these damn teeth in.
You got a mind like a Rube Goldberg.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm waiting for that marble to drop
you
down.
drop down and it goes down and drops in. Yeah,
Knock over this thing to go over to here, and then
I
knock
wonder
that.
how many people know what a Rube Goldberg is.
Yeah. Well,
I do.
hey,
Or yeah,
some of us played Mousetrap.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But Rube Goldberg actually I remember reading it, seeing them in the comic strips every so often. They'd put one in one of his sophisticated designs of
Mhm.
like the Mousetrap, the game Mousetrap. That was classic Rube Goldberg right there. But
Mhm.
he used to do all sorts of right. I mean, and they were really great illustrations, but they were a whole bunch of stuff to do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
know. And I remember in the John Wayne movie Hatari, in which Red Buttons is out there in the shop building something to catch the monkeys, and
Oh.
he's using rockets. That they used to they used to launch take rockets and launch from ship to ship with a cable attached to them so that they could send the mail back and forth or supplies back and forth. That's how they got the cables over to them. They would
Right.
launch these rockets to them. Well, this was the 1950s or early 60s when this movie was made, and you could still buy those. And
Uh-huh.
so, and they were talking about it. Says, "What's he doing out there, anyways?" And he says, "His name was oh, what did they call him? I can't remember what they called him anyways. Says, "What's he building out there?" And he goes, and the guy says, "Oh, some Rube Goldberg device on how to catch monkeys." And it's really what it was. He had these he had these rockets launch opposite of where they were going, so the trajectory and everything, they'd come up and they'd curve back and they'd go over the tree carrying the cable, which also carried this giant net that fell over the tree, and then they pulled the tree down and just went in there, got the monkeys and loaded them in the cages.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The dogs kept the monkeys treed all night long, and then the next day at sun up, he launched the rocket and his trajectory carried it over there and dropped this net on there,
Mm.
and he shut his eyes and didn't see it because he was scared it wouldn't work. Then they had to describe it to him.
Ah,
Anyways, but it was a Rube Goldberg situation. Like I said, a lot of people, unless you're our age, probably wouldn't know who Rube Goldberg is. But yeah,
yep. Mhm. Yeah.
they used to put a lot of his drawings like in cartoon magazines and some of those others. Mad Magazine used to have occasional
Yeah,
drawing of a
Mad
wolf.
Magazine. Yep,
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
back in the old days, back Spy
Mhm.
versus Spy, and
Oh, that's a classic.
Oh yeah,
Spy
yeah,
versus Spy, and
yeah.
oh man.
I used to have, we've gone over time, but anyways, it's trivial shit
Oh,
now.
don't worry. I
Yeah,
don't have
I
to work
I used to
tomorrow.
have this. It was a hard plastic. It was a molded plastic model, or not a model, but a figurine of a rat fink out of
Oh,
Cartoon Magazine with the big bulgy eyes and the big, yeah.
right.
I wish I can't find anyone. You can't find them anymore. Not even on eBay or anything. But uh,
Hmm.
Wolf I27 I I2S7S.
Oh, yeah, I choose.
Not
Hello,
sure.
Wolf. We'll call you Wolfie. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
In
Yeah,
Wolf in what
we're
isn't
just
that what Eddie called his little feller at night, Wolfie?
Wolfie, and that was Eddie Van Halen's son's name.
Of
His
course.
name was Wolfgang. They called him Wolfie.
Wolfgang.
Yeah.
Wolfie.
Mm-hmm. How would
I am
you like
left
that
wing. Is that
name
okay? Well,
growing
what?
up? Growing up as a kid, and your name is Wolfgang
I don't know.
Van Halen. But hey, yeah, at
Hey,
least your parents had money.
but who did he name him after? Of course. Eddie Van Halen's a musician, and who was Wolfgang named after?
Amadeus.
That's right. Wolfgang
Yep.
Amadeus Mozart.
Yep. It's, Wolf, well, we welcome leftists if you have an open mind and are willing to listen to the opposition. You're
And of
welcome to
course,
be here.
I will always say, bless your heart.
Yep, bless your heart. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, so yeah, anyways, yeah. Yeah, you kind of got here where the show's almost over, and
Yeah,
most of
we're about
we've
to
wind it down here. Political
wind
talk
it
kind of,
down here, and yep. So that's why I had my shot because I don't have to work tomorrow. I get sleep in. Fine.
good for you. I've been sleeping in for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah,
But
what do you have to stay up for? You could sleep till noon if you want.
and I
Yeah,
usually do. Well, I usually get up about 11 o'clock.
yeah, I got a couple more years where I could do. You know what? Even if I retired, I'll probably still get up at 6 or
Well,
7.
the one there's 2 reasons. One, I always worked the night shift.
Ah, okay.
So I like when I was in the service, I worked the night shift.
Mm.
Now when I was younger, come 10:30, man, I was in bed.
Mhm.
When Judy and I first got married, she'd stay up late, but I'd get up early, which worked out great for the grandkids. Because we'd get all 5 grandkids, I'd help her get them ready for bed. All 5 of them, the oldest ones that lived here, and we'd put them to bed, and then or she'd stay up with them, and make sure that they stayed in bed, and then I'd go lay down because I was tired, and I'd get up, and then I'd get up in the mornings, and I'd take care of them, and she'd sleep in because she usually she was a night person, always was.
Mm.
And then as time went on, and I had to start taking care of her more, well, I
Mhm.
slept when I could, which was I'd get an hour sleep here, an hour sleep there, and because I was constantly up and down with her, and so I ended up becoming more of a night person then, and now it's just I keep thinking, well, I need to go to bed and get to sleep so that I can get up and go do something. I think I don't have anything to do.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't have.
I was the same way when I was a stand-up comic because, well, I worked from 8 p.m. till about midnight, and I'm up till 2 a.m. and
Yeah,
go
yeah,
to sleep and sleep in until 8 or 9
yeah. A
o'clock.
lot of time, I either worked from 4 o'clock until midnight when I was in the Air Force, or generally I worked, which was my favorite shift, was midnight to 7:30. The mids. Night shift, and
Well,
that was my favorite time. And one, you didn't have officers coming around. You didn't even have,
yeah.
you didn't even have high ranking NCOs coming around. Most of them were just, you might have a couple of tech sergeants that hung out, but yeah.
hmm Why do we support Trump? Well, because we like his agenda of, supporting American workers. Make us prosperous, bring jobs back to America, keeping prices down, and protecting the citizens by actually locking up criminals instead of having this catch and release and
Yeah,
what else? Oh, and taking care of tyrants that want to do us bad, like Iran,
Yeah, and closed borders. I think we should have a closed
close
border
borders.
policy.
Mm-hmm.
I think free enterprise. He believes in
Yeah.
free enterprise. Uh, those are. It doesn't necessarily mean, because you'll find out if you'd watched earlier. I support Trump, but I don't always agree with him.
Mm-hmm.
There's times I'm a little perturbed.
Oh God, it'd be Trump because
Oh, it'd be Trump. One, Bernie Sanders is you got to
he's a
remember, the three, at least, well, the three of us, we grew up during the Cold War time. I don't know how old you are, but we grew up during the Cold War time, and we're not fond of socialist or communist, you know.
right.
And
Mm-hmm.
Bernie Sanders is a avid democratic socialist,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't support socialism. Just ask the people from the former Soviet Union or those of us who grew up
Right.
during the Cold War.
I have neighbors and coworkers who were from the Ukraine and from Russia that grew up under communism, and they tell me stories of how horrible it was under communism, how you didn't have enough food to feed your family, and everybody had to sleep in one room because the flat only had two rooms, the living room and a bedroom and if you had to use the bathroom, it was down the hall. That's how a lot of those apartment buildings were. They call them flats, and you
Yeah,
shared
that's
the
what they
same
call them in Europe,
kitchen.
anyways.
Yeah. And yeah, it was terrible condition, and alcoholism was very high over there. Although we shouldn't laugh. I mean, look at
I was going
the
to say,
homeless people, you know. But the sad thing is, we're not doing anything to treat these people because there's money to be made to keep these people out on the streets. Yeah.
yeah, and cool, Michael, you're very
Yep,
right.
that's
Cool cat.
right.
Those who have experienced it are the people to ask about. So,
Mm-hmm.
and Bernie Sanders is an acknowledged socialist Democrat, which the socialists
He
are.
owns 3 houses and who's never worked a job in his life. Yeah.
Yeah. So
What's funny is he likes communism, but he doesn't want to live in a communist country. Isn't that funny? Yeah.
I think those people that enjoy that sort of lifestyle should go live in those countries.
Right.
Let them go live in those countries like North Korea
North
or
Korea, Cuba, or
Cuba.
mhm.
Although Cuba is kind of going downhill when it comes to communism.
Yeah.
I think their communist government is on the.
You're right, Michael.
Yeah,
I,
you're
I,
right. Professional politician. That
mm,
is the one thing about Donald Trump you can say. He did not have to do this.
right. He wasn't a politician his whole life. He He was in business.
Authoritarianism doesn't necessarily. There are authoritarian governments that aren't necessarily communist governments. So, no, there's a difference. Socialism and communism. Socialism believes that you should take from everybody, and everybody. It's an idea of utopia, that everybody is equal. Everybody donates and contributes. Unfortunately,
Well,
that's the idea.
Yeah,
It's never worked because
it,
human beings are human beings, and they're going to do what they do.
that's right. Mm-hmm.
And Charles, you're probably, in some ways, you're more read up on some of this than I am, even though I've lived through it all my life. But
well, the only real criticism that I would have is you use the word donates, and it's not donates.
No.
The government comes in and forces. With socialism, the government comes in and redistributes wealth. You still get to have some, but not as much money as you might have made. With communism, you don't even get to own that.
Yeah.
Now we do. Now, of course, there are government societies like China. They're supposed to be, the ultimate communist country, but yet there are billionaires there.
Right.
Because eventually they had to adopt capitalist principles, or their society would have utterly collapsed.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
North Korea.
The thing is, those billionaires don't have as much freedom. They're not as safe in their own country as, say, Donald Trump is, so to speak, because there have been at least rumors of Chinese billionaires disappearing if they screw up bad enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The government will send in whatever police force, military or whatever, to take you out. And that's the kind of thing that we see also, while this is fictional, in V for Vendetta. When I don't remember the character's name, but there was some high-ranking television person who thought he was untouchable, and the government said, "You're very touchable." They would not only they went in and got him, and if memory serves, I've only watched that movie once. If memory serves, I think they executed him right there in his bedroom or something. Now I might be wrong on that one element. Like I said, I've only watched it once in the theater.
Since I've watched it too. Yeah.
But I do remember him talking about, I'm, saying literally to somebody, I'm untouchable. And the government showed him that he wasn't.
And again, he talks about authoritarianism. Socialism is authoritarianism.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have an authoritarian government. I think healthcare is. I'll give you an example. Prior to the Affordable Care Act, my cousin worked for a company. He worked there. He retired from there after 45 years. Worked at the same place. Had a great health care. They provided him with beautiful health care. But then when the Affordable Care Act, and he paid his what do you call it? That first amount you got to pay. My mind just went.
Your copay.
Yeah.
It's copay, but the base pay where you got to pay 100%, and then they start paying your at the beginning of the year you got to start over.
Your deductible.
He had a low deductible and a low copay. Okay, with this company, and he had great insurance, covered everything.
Mm-hmm.
And after the Affordable Care Act, they were required to provide health care that agree. And what he had was considered out of alignment with what was across the board considered acceptable under the Affordable Care Act.
Mm-hmm.
So what they ended up having to do was go back and renegotiate their contracts, and he ended up having to pay almost. He went from having his health insurance cost him let's say $1,000 a year, and he only had like a $350 deductible. The next year, his health insurance cost him close to $9,000 a year, and he had a $3,000 deductible.
Wow.
And 3 times the copay, whereas before he had a $5 or $10 copay, it suddenly jumped up. I say 3 times, hell, is more than that. It jumped from a $5 copay to a $75 copay. Now
Mhm.
that's actual, and that was under the Obama administration. That was the health care for everybody. That was the one that you,
Mhm.
and he didn't get to keep his doctor. He had to go to
Right.
a doctor that was inside that healthcare's plan.
Right.
He couldn't go to just any doctor. So that's the reason healthcare is so expensive now, is because of what was created by the forced a lot of health insurance companies to go out of business because they
Right.
couldn't, they quit. A lot of insurance companies quit doing healthcare because they couldn't afford to do what was required under the Affordable Health Care Act. As
Mhm.
far as housing, well, guess what? My parents in 1957 bought a brick home in Denver. It had 2 bedrooms upstairs, 2 bedrooms downstairs. It had a full finished basement. It was a nice sized yard. They paid 12 grand for it. In 1971, they sold it for they paid $12,000 for it. They turned around and in 1971 they sold it for $19,000. In 1980s, and they took that $19,000 and went and paid off what was left of their mortgage, and they had $11,000 cash. And they went and paid cash for their house. And then they turned around, and that was in 1971. In 1980, they sold that same house for $45,000. That house still is there in Grand Junction, Colorado. That house is worth $190,000 now. It only cost them $11,000 in 1981. And it doesn't matter who was in charge. Prices go up.
Mhm.
It's just a part of life. Prices will go up. The only way for them not to go up is for us to be under the total and permanent control of the government. But we
Right.
would not, they would, like in China, they would tell them they could only have 2 children, you know,
Yeah.
and if they had more than 2 children, they took them and they had those children aborted.
Yeah. Mhm.
Uh, so the cost of goods. Yeah, when my mother was a child back in the 1920s, she paid she paid 2 cents for a loaf of bread. When I was a kid, it was 25 cents. Now
Mhm.
what is it for a loaf of bread now? $2 and
Oh,
something?
it's
$3 and
almost
something?
$2, $3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Depends
When I was
on
a
depends on the quality of bread you want to
the
get too.
quality of
Yeah.
bread too. Yeah.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
if you just want
So
to get crap, yeah, it's $2, $3 a loaf. But if you want to get something that's good and good for you, like Killer Dave's, or
right, yeah.
even a lot of stuff from Trader Joe's. Although I have to admit, Trader Joe's is much more reasonably priced. But Killer Dave's is some of the best, most nutritious bread you can get. And here where I am, it's pushing $7 a loaf.
When
You
I
know,
was 6 years old, they had price wars in Denver or in Colorado on gasoline. They were called gas wars. And everybody was trying to sell theirs for the cheapest. I remember going down and I remember us pulling up and buying, regular, and of course all gasoline back then was leaded. I
Right.
remember buying what was called regular gasoline. There was ethyl, which was their premium gasoline, and then there was regular gasoline. This is well before this was in the 1960s, okay? 9 cents a gallon for a gallon of gas. I remember in 1971 when we started having 1973 is when the gas shortage hit, but I remember in 71 when in 68 it was 25 cents a gallon.
Mhm.
at some places like at our 7-Eleven store there in Denver. It was 25 cents a gallon. I remember in 71 when it went over 50 cents a gallon, or when it was 49 cents a gallon. My dad was livid. Then I remember when it went to $1 a gallon. Oh my God. I mean, when I first started smoking cigarettes, Marlboros, I was paying 25 cents a pack. That pack of cigarettes now cost $10.25 for one pack of cigarettes. And most of that is because of government taxes that have been added onto it.
Yeah, that's right.
90% of that is tax. So the government has taxed that. And this was done under, it doesn't matter which government, it jumped up really big under the Biden administration. So yeah, the cost of living has gone up. A lot of it is due to our government taxation. They're trying to stop everybody from smoking, and good luck to them. But if I want to die from smoking, that's my right and privilege. Now, if we get a totalitarian or a totalitarian socialist or communist government, I won't have that right. They'll just take that away from me. But it's funny that in all the communist countries, most of those people smoke over there.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Speaking of smoking, we're smoking on towards almost 2 hours, and we're down to 2 people watching.
Right.
And Wolf, I want to thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure having you here.
And I hope we answered his questions, about that.
You have a great weekend. I want to thank everybody in chat for have a great weekend. Enjoy your Juneteenth tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Don't forget Art Code Drones and Entertainment tomorrow night, and Bill's show. No, he's not going to have a show on Saturday.
Not this Saturday. No, he's skipping this Saturday. Yep.
Yeah. Take care, everybody, and good night.
Good night, folks.
Don't forget, tune in to Art Code Drones and Entertainment live stream for more exciting content every Friday night at 5 p.m. Mountain Time.